upstairs, and then when we actually
All
start
right.
playing, I go downstairs.
Let's rein it in.
Yeah, right.
We got it.
All right. So last we left, let me get you an owlbear link. We made it to the checkpoint, which was that's
Front
the
gates.
don't click on that. I mean, you
Click
can
on
click
that.
on that, but it's the wrong one. So hang on.
Did you give us one from yesterday?
No, I gave you one for like my side. Not going to show you anything if you click on it. It's just
Excuse me.
there we go. There's the right one.
You guys hear a crying baby in the background?
Barely.
No.
No, it
She
sounded
comes
like,
through just
sounded like Zelda.
I heard a beep.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
we're just
pretty
gonna.
good.
I'm just
Yes,
gonna
sir.
like leave my camera on Zelda tonight. Like that's just my plan.
That's better.
Delta cam is best cam.
All right.
She's very
Yeah. We had arrived at the castle. Esmeralda had left you all to depart. She's going to do some scouting around the outside of the castle for you all. And gotta get back to where I need
We
to be.
changed into our outfits and whatnot.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I put like a cloak over my cloak? Because it's more of like a winter jacket cloak type situation, right?
The cloak that you received as the gift?
So I think it's a full fit. I don't think we need to do anything over it. Unless you want to.
I got some seed. Hold on.
Black velvet cloak, fine velvet lined with wolf fur. And then a black gloves with silver trim. Is that right?
That is correct.
What we got?
I also have that written down.
Can we inspect these gloves and capes to see if they're magical in any sense?
Sure. Give me an Arcana check,
So we all just do
Okay.
an arcana check on our own ones.
if you would like to.
Cool.
I don't have detect magic currently.
Hey, it's a cloak.
I just want to make sure there's no like, secret tracking spells or
Can I give myself guidance?
Sure. That's about spot
Amanda's
on for
like,
Catwin's
"This
knowledge
is
of.
Hold on.
That
I
is
was like, it
about
feels
spot
very
on
on
for
brand.
Catwin's knowledge
I
of
am not
magic.
the right person.
I
I'm
am
still
not
using
the
that
right
4. Just use whatever your bonuses are.
Bam. 2, 1.
Why did I get
in a
no,
row.
because it'll use the 4. My bonus to Arcana is +4. So
you
4
go.
plus 4 is
10.
8.
So
plus
10. You can
2
got a
is
10.
10. Jeez.
We love a -1 to Arcana. Big fan.
Yeah, they just appear to be a plain old cloaks and gloves. Shaw, you're more certain about that than everybody else.
Am I able to put it on over my cloak of Elvenkind, or would I have to take my cloak of Elvenkind off?
You would
That would
have
also
to
my
take your
question.
cloak of Elvenkind off, and Shaw, you'd have to take your cloak of protection off to wear it.
I won't wear it then. I'll wear the gloves though.
Hmm.
But
Well,
you
we did
are
get
wearing
fancy
you.
clothes.
Yes, I was gonna say you all did put your fancy clothes on, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
I think we
yes,
should all put it on.
Amanda Zelda is making a Twitch cameo at the moment.
Oh.
She can't stay on there all the time, otherwise I can't see the text in Discord.
What? You need to see stuff? What about the sleeping Zelda?
I mean, she would say she is more important.
I mean, she has a lot to say.
Yeah.
doesn't
So,
need-
where we left
what I'll do is
off.
I'm gonna take mine off, and I'm gonna put the what he gave on for now, just as a show of graciousness over my fancy outfit.
Nice.
Is everybody else look fancy?
Fine.
We'll say you're making these final wardrobe changes in the last few moments as you're rolling over the portcullis and into the courtyard. So if you're gonna make any changes, do it now.
How do I just take it off?
That's it.
Just uncheck the box
Just
next
click it,
where it's
right?
equipped. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you'll have the exclamation mark update once the change is made in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, mine doesn't change any stats, so
Mine does.
I just won't be rolling with advantage on stealth checks.
Okay, so you're saying we would have to remove.
If you're wearing a
What?
cloak, if you're already wearing a cloak, like,
Oh.
then like Shaw and Azure both had cloaks as part of their gear, you couldn't
I-
wear both.
I don't have a cloak.
Then you could just put yours on over your fancy new dress.
Yes, and also I have a chain shirt underneath.
I was
You're
like,
wearing
am
a
I
chain shirt. You're wearing a chain shirt underneath your fancy
your
dress? Or are you wearing
I mean,
a chain shirt
I'm wearing all my
over your fancy
chainmail.
dress?
I'm wearing all my chainmail with my fancy suit. So
I guess it would be under. You wear chain shirts under armor, but over clothes?
Or in between layers of clothing or leather. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to wear it.
It's between
Between
layers of
Between
clothing.
layers of
Yeah, sure
clothing.
enough. There you go. All right. Mm-hmm.
Chainmail pants.
Panties. Chainmail bikini.
Literally and figuratively.
I'd be worried about the
Yeah.
pinch. I'd be worried about the pinching. Pinching would
There could be
probably
some
be
pinching.
uncomfortable.
Pulling on the hair.
yeah, it's probably not. You never know.
Chafing.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Carl is so over me.
No, I just think you're being ridiculous. It's not a bad thing. Funny.
All right. So yes, you rolled through the portcullis. You're rolling out into the courtyard. The carriage trundles to a halt, and the door, the lock on the carriage door clicks, and the door swings open. As it opens, you see out into the courtyard. You see thick clouds and swirling fog. And the rain is starting to drizzle. You can see flashes of lightning in the distance. You see there's the two main doors of the castle stand open in front of you. The walls of the castle towering high above, up out of sight. There's some torches lit beside the doors. They're kind of the flames sputtering a bit in the starting rain. High up on the wall above the doors, you see what you think was probably used to be a beautiful stained glass window, but it's shattered and broken, with only bits of glass remaining. Two figures stand next to the door. One is a tall, dark elven man that you recognize as Strahd's
Is a right hand man guy.
yes.
What was his name? Starts with an R?
No,
Ra-
what was it?
Rahadin?
There
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it
Nice.
is.
Yes.
Way to go, Amanda.
Nadine.
He is garbed a bit differently than the last time you saw him. When you previously saw him, he was just kind of in utilitarian riding clothes, but now he wears a rich blue tunic with these intricate spiral patterns of golden thread. And he has that same sort of perpetual frown on his face, and he stands at attention with his hands clasped behind his back. And the person standing next to him is a striking woman in a bright red dress, layered with ruffled frill. Her eyes glint just as red as her dress, but she wears a warm smile.
Do we recognize her in any way? From
you
of our,
don't.
like,
You don't. You would not have seen her before.
I
And
think
you guys
Shaw
are just
will
right here in the courtyard.
kind of whisper before we get out. He'll just kind of whisper to the group. Do any of you know how to act in front of a quote-unquote sophisticated party / royalty?
I might.
Okay, so I've done this quite a bit. Just follow my lead. And Shaw will head out first and kind of lead the troop.
Oh, we're on the map now.
Oh, we are. Sick.
I also dropped
That's
in
really
some.
cool art.
I can't. Did you say? Does she look Vistani?
No.
That chick's art is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, creepy red eyes.
Yeah, super spooky.
And she does have sort of an amused smile on her face, and you can clearly see her fangs as
Okay.
she grins at you.
I mean, her fingernails alone are giving strong vampire vibes. So
And Raha
Alright.
Demon, was he clearly a vampire too when we met him? I can't remember. Could we tell?
I don't know if you would be able to tell as easily.
When we get closer, I just want to give him a once over if he doesn't like smile at us.
Shaw will kind of be a step in front of everyone. Just kind of cordially walk up and just kind of stop and say, "Good evening," and just kind of give kind of the courteous bow that you would to someone at an event like this.
and we're not supposed to have Irina with us.
She's
You
with
are.
us.
I just forgot to put her token on the map, as always.
He's invisible.
At least I'm better at finding her token now.
Maybe
Yeah,
she's-
as you step up and give the bow, the woman steps forward a bit and reaches out to take your hand, and she says, "Oh, you must be Shaw. It's so nice to finally meet all of you. I've heard so much about you."
Well, hopefully all good things. This is Azur, Eliana,
Oh,
Catman,
No,
and I'm blanking on her name. Help me out here.
Irina.
Irina.
Irina, we just talked about, and Irina.
I'll bow as
and,
well when he
and
says
please,
my name.
remind me your name.
She says, "Oh, I have heard all about all of your exploits. here in Barovia. I know all of your names. My name," and she kind of gestures to herself. She says, "is Anastasia."
As Shaw kind of does his bow, can he just once over, not in the dirty way, in the is she carrying weapons? Is she like, or is she just dolled up and very obviously a vampire?
Is what I missed what you said first. Is she what?
I want to kind of give her a once over in terms of like, is she carrying weapons? Is she like magically shielded in any way, shape, or form? Like, I just kind of want to give her an eye pat down subtly.
Yeah. Just make a perception check.
Oopsie.
With the 16, no, you don't notice any obvious weaponry. She is very clearly a vampire. She's not doing anything of any sort to try and hide it. She's got glowing red eyes.
Yeah.
She's got she's got fangs. She has what are essentially claws for fingernails. But yeah, as you kind of give her that once over, she's giving each of you in turn that kind of same once over. She actually sort of like reaches out and runs her finger along the silver embroidery on the edge of your cloak, Shaw, and she kind of
Like
looks,
a pat down type situation.
almost, yeah, kind of. Less aggressive, more just sort of like taking in your appearance, if you will. She appears to sort of nod in approval at your dress, Eliana, and as she steps over to you, Azur, and she's kind of doing the same as she did Shaw. She's running her finger along sort of the edge of your cloak. Her eyes land on the pendant at your neck. And she says, "Oh, well, that is a lovely piece of jewelry, but
Now, I would have probably had it tucked into my shirt, but she probably still saw I'm wearing something.
yes, if you had it tucked into your shirt, she would loop a finger around it and pull it out."
Okay. I'll be uncomfortable, but I'm not gonna, like, try to hard stop her.
Yeah. She kind of appears to be sort of thinking aloud, and she says, "Lovely. One may call it over-decorated," and then she kind of looks you in the eye and says, "But I love a guest who can wear such a piece with confidence." Then she kind of steps around you over to Catwin, and she kind of looks you up and down and says, "Yes, this color does suit you very well."
Thank you.
She steps around to Irina, and she's kind of like doing that thing where she's kind of like letting her hand sort of linger on your shoulders, and a little familiar touch of the arm here and there.
Yeah, I probably got,
And
like, the slightly uncomfortable goosebumps when she was, like, pulling the necklace out.
100%, yes. She looks at Irina and actually just like almost like brushes at her hair, not quite, but like almost like that gesture, and she just says, "I see what it is that he likes about you." And he steps around to Eliana, and she kind of again looks you up and down and says, "Chainmail with that dress?" And then she just turns on her heel and heads over to stand next to Rahadin.
Do I get the sense that she definitely knew what my pendant is?
Make an insight check.
Yeah.
She was definitely looking. She was definitely closely inspecting you all. You get with the 12, you get that. You would not know for sure if she recognized the pendant or not.
I'm gonna
As
tuck
that
it
was
back
happening.
in my shirt.
I was probably looking at Rahadin. Like, what weapons does he have on him? Is he wearing armor? Is it the usual? Obviously, I know he's in like the dress, but
Yes, he is wearing fancier attire, but he is he does not wear any armor currently, but his two scimitars are still slung at his hip.
gotcha.
Can we see any fangs from this close?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, wrong chat.
Where could it be that you all are talking that I don't see it?
No, it was with Amanda. I'm really rolling well.
Yeah, with an 8, you don't notice any fangs.
Definitely still
there's
a little shaken by her getting a little too close for
her,
comfort.
her familiarity.
Yeah.
After she's kind of done her lap, Shaw, you would have noticed as kind of looking at Rahadin, he was also kind of giving you all the once over, and he looks and he says, well, I believe your decorum is adequate to show respect to the master of the house, so please, this way. And he gestures towards the door.
Yeah, let's follow, I guess.
As soon as you start stepping towards the door, you hear a clank and a shudder, and you see the chains on the. If you look over your shoulder, you can see the chains on the drawbridge pull tight as it begins to raise up, and the portcullis lower behind you. And Anastasia and Rahadin turn to walk into the castle.
And you said the like broken stained glass was like right above the door, right?
It's way up above the door. Yeah, so the
Way up
castle
above, okay.
is let me see if I can find a good like isometric
Reference
picture.
image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the back of the castle. Here's the castle from behind, which is the opposite of the direction you all can see it from right now.
Castle butt. So does it like look slightly run down with all the vines and stuff?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
Like you can tell that this is once like a grand castle, but it is definitely appears to be a bit worse for wear now.
Must have locked all the masons out of Barovia.
Oh yeah, here's a front elevation. Here we go. Copy image.
Camera, I think we should get the Devised Brotherhood up in here.
Yeah,
Fix this.
It's tall as shit. Holy moly.
Damn. 360 feet.
Yeah, it's big old castle.
Yeah.
And the outer walls are as tall as sort of the main building of the castle. Not the
So
not
about
the
90
two
feet.
towers, not the two spires. Yeah. They're about 90 feet.
So Isengard and Mordor.
Yeah.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Okay. Damn, okay. A big fucking castle.
Yeah, it's a big castle.
50 feet just up to that stained glass. Like a little more than 50 feet. Cool.
As you step into the I forgot that these guys were here and not in the next room, so give me 1 second. Yep. I think these might actually be 10-foot squares. I think these are supposed to be 10-foot squares
On the outside, or okay.
on the
Okay.
inside.
We need to be smaller.
Smaller.
Win.
Yeah.
Out of 3 feet then.
Yeah. I think that's, but I'll resize them before our next session, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
It's huge.
Big old courtyard then.
It is.
Oh, Irena's a giant.
Yeah, so as you step into this foyer here, you see 4 statues of dragons up above, glaring down at you from the corners. And just inside the foyer, you see a second set of doors, these closed. And you see 2 figures standing beside the doors. To the left stands a handsome young man with long blonde hair. And his soft features are sharpened a bit by what is be evidently a forced smile. And to the right is a pale-skinned woman in an old, tattered wedding gown. She's standing stiffly, and her hair is as black as raven's feathers, cascades down her back in stark contrast to the white dress that she wears. Through the veil, you can see her glowing red eyes, and you can just make out the fangs as she smiles kindly at all of you.
I will do a courteous bow to them as well.
Yeah, Shaw will do the nice head nod, bow.
They bow at each of you in turn, and then they both turn and bow deeply to Rahadin, who kind of dismisses them with a...
Do their facial expressions change
make
as that happens?
Make an insight check. With a 12, you don't see any change in the man, but you see the woman in the veil appear a bit more crestfallen. And here are both of their arts. I found this artist on Patreon recently.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm going to be using their art for a lot of the character artwork going forward.
Nice. She looks very sad. Do any of them have any like familiarity based on other people we've seen in Barovia?
Make a history check.
God. 3 ones already
What?
No.
tonight.
Get them out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, though. I'm still creeped out by her running her fingers on my cloak.
Yeah, that really goofed you.
She really spooked me.
But at Rahadin's gesture, the 2 of them turn in and open the doors into the foyer here of Castle Ravenloft.
Cool. Marble floor.
And Rahadin will lead you in.
When we enter this foyer, does it look like it's in the same condition as the outside of the castle, or does it look more like well kept?
will read you the description, and you will find out. As you look up, this foyer stretches up dozens of feet. It's like vaulted, like almost all the way up to the roof of the castle. And as you look up, you see cobwebs stretched between the columns. It's sporadically and dimly lit by sputtering torches that cast these odd shadows. As you look up, you see up at the very top, where the domed ceiling rests, you see 8 gargoyles staring back down at you. Their faces seeming to dance in the moving torchlight. Across the hall from you, there's 2 bronze doors that stand closed. There is a set of stairs leading up to the north, and then to the south, you see this parquet tile floor that's chipped and cracked. And you see
No
another
dragon skeletons to be seen.
no dragon skeletons to be seen, but you do see another set of bronze doors here at the south end of the hallway as well. As you all enter, everybody make a perception check for me.
Baby.
Hey, y'all are rolling great tonight.
Average.
Everybody's
Suck my
terrible.
dick.
That 10 is my best roll so far.
With that 16, Azur, I think your sort of wariness might be coming back to you as Irina enters the hall. The woman in the wedding dress has this moment of look of like almost like shock or something on her face. Like she looks like she's seen a ghost. But then she quickly composes herself.
And that was the first time she probably caught a glimpse of Irina, from what I would guess.
Yes. As you all are kind of coming into the hall, and Anastasia walks in last behind you, you hear footsteps clicking on the aisle floor. Oh, you know what? I knew I was missing another token. Hang on.
Missing
Hang
Strahd.
on. No.
Oh.
It's the dragon.
It is a platinum dragon. We're all screwed.
Platinum
Mike,
dragons
did
are
you
good.
say any of us noticed the woman with the veil's reaction to Irina?
Only Azur did.
Okay.
I'm not.
Even though I'm standing right next to her.
Well, you only rolled a 12. So no. Your eyes were elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm not. I won't say anything.
Oh my god.
Tell me.
Told
Knew it
you
was
we were
dragon.
dealing.
Is it a baby dragon?
Not a dragon. Oh my god.
Is it a cat?
It's a
Is it a-
dragon.
Is it Zelda? Oh, look at that kitty cat. I love having her on the screen.
That's where she sits.
Ooh, dragon.
School whole dragons.
I love how she gets her own chair.
Yeah.
Well, or else it would be a lot more chaotic. Yeah.
Sleepy kitty.
See if I can back it up a little so you can see her. Stretchy paws.
Her little paws. Where is our dog? She is not here. I'd call her, but I don't want to disturb her.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
She's sleeping.
This is what I get for procrastinating.
I love you, but I'm going to call you out on it. Yes.
There was too much time between sessions that you just kept telling
That's-
yourself you had more time.
That is basically exactly what happened, yes. Okay, where'd that one go?
I'm not gonna roll my regular die because it's also giving me shit. I haven't rolled above a 12. Oh, there's an 18. Okay.
You
Yeah,
can't
everything
just force
else-
it to roll well for you, though. Alright, let's see. how
Yeah,
much
So
it's
why
not
are
doing
these
great.
tokens coming in the size of dragons?
Because they're dragons.
Because they're dragons.
You can't pull one over us. We know they're dragons. We've prepared spells for dragons.
We are definitely not prepared for dragons.
That's true, but can't tell him that.
What are we, like level 6?
Yeah.
Fight wormlings.
Yeah, you hear footsteps and you see two women walking down the corridor. These women you do recognize, both of them carrying wine glasses full of this deep crimson liquid. The woman slightly ahead is a shorter woman wearing a faded gold wedding gown and a platinum mask that's shaped like a skull. And her companion is tall and dark-skinned. She's wearing a gold tiara with a simple white gown.
Old Tiara was the lady that was in the big tree place, right?
Druids.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you recognize these two women. You have certainly encountered them before.
The other one is the coffin lady.
Yes, indeed. And both of them seem to regard you slightly warily.
Shaw will give him a wink and a wave.
Muffin lady? What? Did what?
In the coffin shop, remember we
Oh, yeah. Coffin shop lady. Yeah.
now the one with Tara, I don't think she ever saw me. Because I went up on the rafters afterwards and or not the on the top of the wall.
Yes, yeah. She wouldn't recognize you, Azur.
Okay. She might put two and two together though that I might have tricked her.
Nah.
Have to roll for perception.
Chad, if they decided to attack us right now, we'd be fucked.
Anastasia sort of kind of steps around as these two close the doors behind you. And Anastasia says, "Well, let me get the introductions out of the way." She gestures at the two women that just approached. She says, "I believe you may have already met these two. This is Volenta." And she gestures at the shorter of the two women, who just sort of glares angrily. And then she steps over and she does a little sort of mocking, like Vanna White type gesture. And she says, "And this is Ludmilla." And
I think Shaw will approach them to shake hands, but not take the hand and kiss it type of situation.
Volenta or Volenta?
it's Volenta and Ludmilla.
Ludmilla.
Yeah,
That's what I heard. I
immediately
was like,
went
polenta.
Yeah, Shaw will approach and just say, hopefully we can still enjoy our evening. Forgetting about past run-ins. And we'll just take their hands and give them a peck on for each one of them.
Volenta is like squeezing her wine goblet so hard it looks like she's gonna shatter it. But she
Perfect.
will.
That is the emotion that he wanted to provoke.
But she will offer her hand. Ludmilla just sort of looks down her nose at you and just sort of scoffs, and then takes a long pull from her goblet.
Which is very obviously blood, correct?
When do you
Make a
remember?
nature check.
With advantage.
No.
No.
When remember when we had to play that Russian song Ruslan and Ludmilla?
Oh yes.
Oh my
I
God.
probably still have the music for that.
Probably.
Oh my gosh, guys, we're missing WWE Raw tonight on Netflix.
Oh,
no.
man.
Anyways,
Sorry.
I'm being. I'll give both of them like just like the standard nod, but I'm clocking kind of everybody to see if I can get an idea of who might be the leak inside Strahd's confidants, I guess we would call it, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of why Shaw is going up and trying to evoke emotion. I'm trying to kind of do that same thing and at least get vibes.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Give me an insight check.
Can I give him the help out?
Hey, natural 20.
Ooh. All right. So we're gonna bank that for a minute. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get to that resolution here in a few moments. Anastasia sort of walks around behind Rahadin and she says, and this strapping young man, I believe you've already met. This is our Chamberlain, Rahadin. And then she just sort of continues walking. And Rahadin basically is just sort of like standing at attention, like staring like straight through all of you, just like at the door. Like
It's
just
very serious.
yes, extremely serious.
Yeah.
This is too beneath him
Beneath him.
almost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she steps around, and then she like runs a finger down the middle of this man's chest, and she says, "This is Escher, and he usually smiles a bit more than this." And she kind of taps his cheek a bit, and you see the sort of forced grin return. And then she steps over and gestures here. As she's kind of stepping by, she continues to gesture at Escher, and she says, "He is our Lord's newest delight." And then she steps over next to Sasha, this woman, and she says, "And this is Sasha, our Lord's eldest bride. Dear Sasha doesn't look her years, of course, but our Lord says she still looks just as radiant as the first day he laid eyes on her." And as she says this, Azur, you see Sasha visibly, well, to you, but almost imperceptibly tremble as Anastasia says this. And
Like anger tremble or like fear?
You can't, even with the 20, you can't really tell. But you see her fist under her veil, because the veil's like long, almost floor length as well, kind of like clench and unclench a bit. And you see her eyes kind of dart about at each of the other vampires in the room.
Okay.
Her art is so freaking cool. Holy moly.
Knowing what I know about all of the characters, because I'm the DM, all of their art is really cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll just do one last. Well, it's good to meet you all, and hopefully we have a nice evening.
Eliana, trying to copy Shaw, will also reach out and kiss both of their hands.
Yes.
Crushing it.
Sasha seems to be. Which of them are you doing this to?
I will attempt to do it both with Sasha and Escher,
Uh.
and to see how they each respond.
Sasha just lets you do it, but seems to be a little bit confused by the gesture. And as you do it to Sasha, you actually see a bit of a genuine smile flicker across his face. And make a perception check.
You mean Escher smiles a little bit?
Yes. What did I say?
Sasha.
Sasha.
Sorry, Escher. Yes.
Well, all of this is
Hey, there we
happening. Catwin is just like giving you like the side eye, like can't figure out what's going on. Infinitely confused.
Yeah. So you see Escher gives you a bit of a genuine smile, and he actually flashes you. He winks, but his that like you get this moment of like genuine joviality, but then his eyes flicker back to Irina, and he goes kind of stony again, and then he lets his hands fall back to his side.
How is Irina reacting to all of this? Because this is probably like her nightmare, essentially.
Yeah, Irina is being cordial, but she is clearly wary. She is taking in her surroundings, like on high alert without being like obvious about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like scan the room, but don't, look like she doesn't look like she's ready to, turn and run or anything. But yeah, she does greet each of the vampires in turn as they're introduced, but she doesn't go up to any of them.
Did you say, does Escher have fangs?
Yes.
Okay.
But the only one we don't know is if Rahadin is a vampire, essentially, at this point.
But we know that he's
Okay, Asterion.
It's giving Asterion vibes, and I'd let Asterion kill me accidentally, so. Are you sure
You
wanna
just
keep
just
doing
let
this?
him
And I
suck
was
all
like-
your blood,
It was like, are you sure about this? And I was like, buckle up, baby. And then
and then they're like, "You died."
That was the very
so
first
funny.
one, too.
it was like immediately. It was like the first thing I did. So I definitely earned the horny bonk from Cam.
Incredible.
That's what he reminds me. I'm like, oh, well, hey, Escher, what's up? Girl is just deep breathing.
Oh. At about this point in time, you hear another set of footsteps approaching from the hallway. Very hurried footsteps, and you hear a little bit of clanking and rattling. And you see a man walking around the corner carrying a serving tray with several goblets and two carafes on them. One of this like deep crimson liquid, and another of a plum color liquid that you would actually recognize as one of the Wizards of wines that I just completely blanked on the name of, even though I looked it up like 10 minutes ago. Damn it.
Make up a name.
We're not
They
gonna know
had
the
really cool names.
They did
Is,
have really
is
cool
this
names.
man wearing like a hockey mask?
Yeah, he
Like an old school hockey
absolutely is.
Okay,
Yes.
'cause I just want to make sure.
It's
It's
Jason.
like it's somewhere between like a Phantom of the Opera mask and a Jason
Okay.
mask. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I just wasn't. I just need to make sure.
As he approaches, he Shaw, with you being the closest, he hands you a goblet and then picks up the purple vase and unless you decline, we'll pour you a drink.
I will say thank you, good sir, but I'm afraid wine doesn't quite sit well with me. But I'm sure these fine ladies would love a refill.
His eyes go a little wide, and he turns to Volenta, and he picks up the crimson carafe and begins to refill her glass. And Volenta looks at you, Shaw, and says, "What? Too strong for your taste?"
You know, us with mortal lives, you can't upset these. This is where passion comes from. And he'll wink again, trying to like give her like a rouse, like.
Yeah, she just sort of like scoffs. She's like, "Huh, so you think you're better than us?"
Sometimes. And Shaw will go back to his group.
Volenta once again looks like she's about to shatter her glass. She's
Perfect.
gripping it so strongly.
Shaw is doing what Shaw does best.
I'll take a glass of wine and I'll do like I'll think, and then I'll do like the swirl thing and smell it to see, make sure it smells up to par. Anything odd about the wine at all?
Make a survival check.
Dude, this man looks terrifying.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up.
All right, with a 21, I'm going to go back and look up the name for this goddamn wine.
Yes, this is from the third cask. A year, 3 years ago.
Ah, yes, before the blight at the Wizard of Wines.
Pre-blight years were the best.
It
No,
was
this
a
was
wet.
one of the least overcast years they've had in a while.
It was a. Or so then, yes, the slightly less overcast days. Made for,
was a
make for a,
nice,
a drier and
A
juicier
light
red
gray
wine.
on the grayscale.
Oh my god.
Guess who showed up? Hello, Lily.
Did we get a lily?
I moved her bedding closer to the camera, so sorry for the double. I'm turned and Mike's microphone picked me up. I'll whisper now.
No, I didn't hear it.
This is like the heaviest Zelda sleeps. As if we're both sitting down here playing D&D together. She just like conks out.
Because she knows
I'm
you're
gonna
both.
swap to my
She knows you're
downstairs
both
feed.
there.
She knows we're both here and she has a spot. And she just sleeps and it's great.
She knows you're both safe.
She knows her sister won't attack her generally.
Oh yes. What was that noise?
Cameron is swapping to his downstairs PC.
Oh, okay.
All right, okay, I had it. I found it. I read them. Apparently, I purged them from my memory. Red Dragon Crush was one of them, but that was not the purple one. But we're gonna go with Red Dragon Crush.
Wasn't it a plum? It was a plum something, wasn't it?
No, because they're all it's all grapes.
Did I write it down?
I don't know. It's somewhere in this giant book. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It is just wine. It is, in fact, just wine.
Oh.
There's purple grape mash, red dragon crush, and a wheat ale.
There's the purple grape mash.
I just found it.
Purple's great.
Smash.
Where did you find it? Did you write it down in your notes, or did you just Google
Yeah,
it?
I wrote it down in my notes.
Only taking the most important of notes.
It was literally the third thing that I had written in under Valaki. There's St. Andrew's Church, the Blue Water Inn, and then the wines and their pricing.
That's amazing.
And it's the purple grape mash number 3 specifically.
That is,
That
yes.
one, the more expensive one.
What's the mash?
Yes, the purple
cheaper
mash
one.
is the more expensive one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 3 copper pieces of pop.
Wow.
Hot damn.
Really pulling out all the stops.
Wow.
I'll take a nice hearty swig and kind of nod to everybody else.
Yeah, it is. It's delicious. If you would please hit the exclam drink for me, please, sir.
Wait,
More-
I mean,
More drinking.
I did that on purpose.
Drink.
Drink. You're not there yet. That's after you're like 4 drinks in.
Still didn't do anything. Do I need to do
Oh.
exclam A?
Oh,
There it is.
there
It just took a second.
It's very late.
Oh no.
I failed.
You're
That was
feeling
my
that
free
one.
drink, though, wasn't it?
So you have no effects of intoxication yet. Yeah, so this waiter continues to circle handing out drinks to everyone, refilling the vampires' glasses or providing them new glasses of the red carafe, while providing each of you in turn with a glass of the purple grape mash.
I'm
So
gonna
long
try
as-
hard not to drink it too quickly, but we'll see how it goes.
As he is circling, Anastasia kind of continues to excuse me.
Okay, you were gonna say something about Anastasia.
I was, and then I lost my place. Yeah, so Anastasia kind of, as you take a deep swig on your wine, Azure, turns and says, so, tell me a little more about yourselves. I would love to get to know such exotic outsiders as yourselves a little better. It's so rare that we have such capable adventurers within our walls.
Well, let me start with this. We've been traveling for a while, and we never could quite get a good, name, you know? And then, I believe it was, oh yes, it was a young gentleman by the name of Timu said 13 hits. What are your thoughts on that?
13 hits.
I'm not validating this with a response.
Ah.
I refuse to validate this with a response.
It's a trap.
100% a trap. Shaw's going to die tonight.
The DM might just accidentally kill Shaw.
Yeah. Oops, you fell
Not-
down a hole.
Yeah, Shaw's gonna trip down the stairs and have the lamest death ever.
He's gonna try to push Shaw out a window just like
you
he tried to kill off
sprained your
Irina.
ankle and you died.
When you said that, I probably gave you the biggest eyebrow raise.
Yeah, no, Shaw will just go, yeah, what do you think about that, Anastasia? 13 hits. Matches theme. Invokes
Lucky number 13.
getting shit done. Like,
She she smiles. She's 13 hits, huh? Well, I am sure it's an inside joke amongst your group, but if you feel that it represents you and your companions well, then sure, why not?
we'll think on it. Anyway, tell us about yourself.
She says, "Oh, me? You don't want to know about me. My
Actually,
life
we
has
do.
been boring."
Well, Anastasia, how long have you been here at Castle Ravenloft?
I know this. There's so many vampires in this room right now. Oh my god.
You did this to yourself.
I know.
No complaining.
I cast Primeval Awareness.
Yes, there we go.
Within a mile.
Do you want to do that?
No.
You know you're in a room currently with at least 5 vampires, if not more.
I know, you just said there's so many vampires in here.
This baby can fit Slap's roof. So many vampires in it.
Yep.
She says, "Well, if you insist, I was formerly of a now extinct noble house in Vallaki. I had no heirs, and Strahd chose me as one of his brides, and well, now I live to serve the master."
What was your surname, if you don't mind me asking? Sorry, Mike.
I know some vampire lore.
She says, "Oh, I was Karalova."
Karalova.
I lost my Discord window. There it is.
Oh, and where did the Karalovas used to reside? Were they in Barovia, or did you say Vallaki?
Yeah, she
You
said. She
did say
said
Vallaki.
Vallaki.
Okay, I actually wrote it down. Answered my own question. JK.
And she said she was the last of the house when she became
Yes.
Strahd's bride.
Do you ever get back to the Vallaki?
She smiles. She says, "From time to time, when I feel like getting out and about, I will venture out to my old stomping grounds. But no, usually I'm just here in the castle."
Well, okay. I'll make you a deal. I'll tell you something about myself. You tell me their story, and Shao will blatantly point at the two over here in the corner.
Spot
The
on,
one
too.
who he knows is getting under the skin, and the other one who is sticking her nose up at him. Because we've had run-ins with them, and we never really got the chance to talk. And, it's going to be a long night. I want to make sure I get to know everyone. Guys,
while
stop
I'm-
getting drunk.
I had to take a sip of the wine.
Free drink.
I do want to know, Mav, do I notice before you answer, does the server have... I know I can't really see a ton of him, but does there seem to be anything about him that seems, I don't know, off? Like, is he ill? Does he look insanguinated?
Make an insight. Yeah, make an insight check.
Like,
Insight or
punching on his
perception,
neck,
I'll let you choose.
He's serving his own blood right now.
Ooh.
Which one? It doesn't really matter. I'm good at both of these. You're looking a little
21.
pallid.
21. All you can see of this dude's face are his eyes because he's wearing a mask. The dude looks scared as fuck.
Good. Great. I mean, in the picture, in the image you sent, he's scared looking.
He does look scared, yes.
As fuck.
He has giant eyeballs. Kind of like the horse from last night.
No, do not conjure that back into my memory.
Tua, get on it. Send it to me.
Actually, in fact, with that 21, as he's coming around, yes, the horse. Oh my god! As he's coming around, and you're trying to kind of get a better look at him. You notice that Escher gladly takes a glass of the crimson liquid. Sasha actually refuses. And as he's kind of like trying to insist that she takes a glass, you notice, forewarning, a little bit of body horror here. You notice that the tips of each of his fingers have been cut off at the first knuckle.
Oh.
All of his fingers?
Yep.
Shit.
Just a little stumpy.
Now, I know we can't say much of him, but does he, from what we can tell, does he look familiar at all? With his hair or anything?
Make
Bodies.
Yeah, make a I don't think, no, you wouldn't. He does not look familiar. You could make a maybe a nature check. Yeah, you can't really tell anything.
I was just kind of wondering if he'd somehow like kidnapped Irina's brother and put him to work, like trying to torture both of them at the same time.
He doesn't seem to recognize Irina. I'll give you that. With your strong perception check from earlier. Shaw, as he is sort of finishing his race, so he gives Anastasia, refills Anastasia's glass as kind of everyone's sort of chatting and mingling. He oh my god, no.
Oh, what?
So, okay.
Wasn't that in like a painting
Yes.
that like Napoleon was in?
Yeah, all right, so sidebar conversation.
Hold on. I'm working on it. Here's the full thing.
There's the whole thing. In our session last night, the wizard got a new subclass. One of the things he could do is from Brennan Lee Mulligan's Wizard of the Citadel subclass, which is ritual diagrams. That is scarily similar. that is scarily similar.
That's fantastic.
They're the same person.
It is a curse horse.
So
okay,
the wizard makes the
Hold on, I'm working on putting the mask on the horse. Hold on.
I was gonna
Continue.
okay. I was gonna send it to Katua. She could work on it for us.
the wizard makes the diagram for Phantom Steed and summons
that.
an ethereal horse. He said it's a normal horse except it has human eyes, and then it turned into this meme
No.
because this is
Oh
the
my
painting
God.
where the meme is like, yeah, I've totally seen a horse before, and then this is the painting that you get. And then because it's a ritual diagram, which means it can just be cast as many times as you want, there was a fleet of phantom steeds in the basement of their home base last night. So I had to look at like 30 of these things for like an hour.
Nice.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's the same eyes. They're literally the same shape.
Just ridiculous.
So
Oh my
Okay.
God.
10 out of 10.
so good.
Oh.
gonna start getting all this mixed up. Okay, so where were we? He
So,
has his
he
fingertips
has-
cut off.
Yes, he has just finished refilling Anastasia's glass. He turns to step over, and he trips just behind you, Shaw.
And Shaw try to catch the
I would also try to guess-
glasses with
beverages.
mage hand and whatnot.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Cast guidance on him.
No.
Oh.
This is a instant speed reaction. All right, with the 21. With the 21, you're able to kind of catch the man whose name you have not asked. But so he doesn't fall all the way to the ground, but he does. One of the pitchers does fall off of his tray, dousing Volenta in this crimson liquid. Everybody in the room goes completely silent, and you see Shaw as you're sort of helping right the server. Volenta's eyes like glow bright with this rage that you've already been stoking a little bit. And this time her hand tightens on the glass so hard that it does in fact shatter. She then takes the now like shattered stem of her glass in her hand, and she clearly like rears back like she's going to stab the servant.
Can Shaw try to like parry it possibly? Like I don't want to like attack, but I want to I want to like try to parry what she's going to do to this guy. I don't know if that's a possibility.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
I haven't pressed enter yet.
Just make a dexterity check. Just C dex. With a 10, what you can do with that 10, as she sort of lashes out, you sort of actually like, because you've got a hold of I'm just gonna say his name because it's getting too hard to be ambiguous, and she's about to say it anyway. You have a hold of Anton. You're gonna sort of jerk him back just enough that this like jagged piece of glass just barely misses his throat. And Volenta says,
Can I pretend it's like an accident and like try to spill some of the wine on the cloak?
I don't think you even need to do that. Volenta says, poor Anton has been a bad, clumsy boy, but I can be clumsy too. As she gestures with this broken glass sort of at his throat again. She says, just a little slip of the hand and...
No worries. Anton, my boy, are you okay? You know what? This, my cloak, can someone take it? I have another one to change into, thankfully, but maybe this one could get washed. Anton, could you help with that?
Make a performance check for me, please.
You just really need your cloak of protection back.
Yeah, I want it back.
Ooh, with a 10.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, it's so cursed.
Terror.
We don't like it. We're not into it.
It's supposed to be a serious moment, guys.
No, Anton.
Why? Why?
That is gold. It's perfect.
I want Anton's eyes, like, actually to be on the. I just have a lot of art to do later.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
The horse is just too much for me. Mm,
This is
can't take us anywhere.
we gotta make some humor somewhere. If it's not in the world, it's outside of it.
It looks like he's doing
just-
this.
It's just how you're dealing with the tension. All right. So yes, as you sort of are kind of supporting Anton here and kind of just barely keeping him out of Valenta's reach. With that 10, with that 10, you there is just you just see sheer terror in Anton's eyes, and Valenta is eyeing you angrily, Shaw.
As she should.
And as the tension in the room is thick enough to cut with a knife.
I'm gonna kind of butt in and say, it's like, well, maybe it might be a good time for a little tour of the castle here, and we don't need to stay in the entryway all day.
Good idea, Zur. Very good idea.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, persuasive.
That's basically our group.
Oh my god.
Sucks.
What is happening? I've had one really
Oh.
good roll and everything else has been doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
As you say this, Valenta's nostrils flare, and you
Oh.
see the red in her eyes glow even brighter. You see in this moment, Shaw, her hand tighten on the stem of the glass. And you can tell just as she's about to stab, you hear a sharp voice from behind you. You forget yourself. There are guests in our home.
And that's very obviously a dragon.
It's
Clearly.
very obviously a giant dragon.
Yeah,
I don't know why the token's coming that
Strahd just cast enlarge on himself.
big.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be our hottie Strahd.
I'm ready for the description, but as Shaw hears this and sees Valenta, he's just, again, gonna smile and wink and just keep digging.
You see Shaw, Valenta's hand freeze. Just a hair's breadth away from having sliced Anton's throat. But her eyes dart towards the staircase. And you hear even measured footsteps echoing down the grand staircase as you see a tall, elegant figure descend into view. He's wearing a fitted vest of rich scarlet and a crisp white shirt, each ornate fastening meticulously buttoned. He moves with cat's grace, with a long black velvet cloak whispering down the stairs behind him. As he approaches, you see the light of the torches flickering across his red eyes. It's a glint like rubies. Good evening, Strahd says, as his lips curl into a cordial grin.
So good.
As he hits the marble floor, you see all of the vampires, Rahadin, and even Anton turn and bow deeply. And you hear Anastasia murmur, "Good evening, my lord. Hope the night's revelry did not disturb your work." And Strahd says, "It did not. I apologize for Valinta's rash behavior. She can be quite excitable at times. And he puts on a sly grin. One of her most attractive qualities, but perhaps also her greatest flaw."
Ah, don't we all have flaws, though? It's good to see you again, Strahd.
"It's good to see all of you as well." And he eyes the spilled wine on the floor, and notes your cloak shawl having a bit of wine on it, and he looks to Sasha and says, "Sasha, my dear, would you mind retrieving a mop from Cyrus and attending to this mess?" And then he looks over at Valinta with a piercing glare and says, "2 mops, perhaps, if anyone would care to assist."
Valentin's gonna fucking murder me.
What
Shaw's last
What-
words were,
Yeah.
"We all have flaws."
What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Tasha's reaction when she's kind of being asked to do the duty? What is it? Because it seems kind of being the oldest bride a little bit trivial for somebody like her.
Yeah, make an insight check.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean,
Eee.
there's a few people standing between you and her, and she is wearing a veil. Kind of hard to get a good read on her reaction.
I have 120 and lots of 3s, 2s, and 1s.
Say, Carl, you're not supposed to roll a d20, not a d4, correct?
Yeah, have you been rolling a d12 this whole time? Sasha kind of looks furtively around the room, and then begins to kind of slowly make her way.
And Shaw, kind of, as she turns to watch her go, just kind of give her a sleight of hand whisper of, like, "Thank you. It is genuinely appreciated."
As she's kind of walking past.
Yeah. And if she's
Um,
close enough to, like, to me, I would just say that to her.
Yeah, she is gonna walk basically like right past you as she exits the room. As you say this to her, her eyes meet yours for a moment.
Yeah, just one kindness is what I'm trying to portray.
Yeah. Yes. She looks at you as you say that, and kind of gives you a significant look. Barely pausing as she goes to leave the room, and then will head out. And Anton will look around for a moment quickly, and then follow.
Well, anyways, yeah, where were we? Love the castle.
We were trading stories, I believe. Anastasia was telling us about some of the new people we've met, and you were going to tell about yourself, Shaw?
Oh, yes. Well,
I
I
think
don't know.
Anastasia was about to tell us something.
Well, we can get to that later. We'll have a whole night of talking, I'm sure. Um, Strahd, my lord, how, what do we call you this
Oh
evening?
wow, that is a
Like,
natural one.
what?
for the
What?
check right
Well,
there.
no, I'm
My lord.
purposely trying to like figure out like
Lord.
what do we call you
Jesus.
tonight? Is it like your lordship? Like,
Oh god, I hate that. That's the wrong your move. Sorry.
yes, Papa.
Two
My
words
lord.
are explicitly forbidden for the rest of the evening.
Spicy and Daddy.
Yeah. He smiles down at you, Shaw, and he says, Strahd will suffice, I think.
Perfect. Ugh. Formalities. Am I right?
He smiles and nods and says, yes, they can be so tedious at times. He says, you found the journey comfortable, I hope?
Yes, and thank you for these lovely robes. They are quite dashing.
He nods. He says, I always seek to ensure my guests' comfort. Castle Ravenloft once hosted many guests, but it has been many years since we have had the opportunity to do so.
Well, please, spoil us.
He says, I seek to do just that. He kind of begins to just kind of walk around the room, just kind of casually conversing. You see Ludmilla and Valenta kind of take a step back, make sure they're out of the way. Yeah, he just sort of begins to chat with all of you about your time here in Barovia.
I think.
We take a quick bio break.
Absolutely, this would be a great time for bio break.
Perfect.
We'll take 5.
Cool. Thanks.
Just a little
Alright.
paw on her side.
Let's say as she sits in her
cute.
paint me like one of your French girls poses.
Well, you missed. She was like licking her butthole a little bit.
Oh, I
over
know. Yeah.
Of course, that is, cat's prerogative.
Uh huh.
How's your butthole? You have a
Got her-
fancy butthole?
I got her back
Fancy
on.
butthole.
I got her back in the stream window. Where were we? Okay, yeah. Sorry, Zelda. Got to move you again. Okay, bye.
She was giving you the stare down.
Yeah, so Strahd kind of mingling about. He kind of turns to the group as just kind of casually putting the question out there. He says, while you all have been getting acquainted with my land, you're still newcomers to it.
Certainly.
He says, I trust nonetheless that you have found the hospitality of my people to be to your liking.
Oh, yes. We've met plenty of wonderful people.
He says, do tell.
Well, I mean, we met the druids, and I'll look over and gesture towards, what's her face with the
Talk
crown.
about poking the bear, man.
Hey, he knows. He knows. We told him we were going to go fuck with it.
This is true.
We've met the druids. We've met, people in Valaki and
People who make this delicious wine. I hold up my glass.
He,
oh yes, they were good fun.
Yeah, he smiled. He said, it's good that the simple honor of hospitality is still remembered. Perhaps I may reward them for their kindness.
Certainly. Don't see why not.
That you are a favor. Are you a favored patron of the Wizard of Wines?
He smiles and he says, at one time I was, yes. He says, but my tastes have matured with age.
Ah, yes. Well, they continue to do a great service to, well, your people by providing them, well, with, as you know, and everyone's what? How do I say that? As you once knew. There we go. Well, fantastic wines for the whole of your people to enjoy. So, yeah, they do great work.
He nods, and he also throws an askance look at Lidmilla and says, perhaps it is a good thing then that you stopped those pesky druids.
Ah, but they can't be to blame. Plus, it was part of the game, right? You knew.
He smiles. He says, yes, I did. And not much happens in Barovia without my knowledge, so it was...
Well, that's why when we ran into you, we figured, well, might as well tell him, or he's going to find out anyways.
He smiles. He says, yes, indeed. Well, I appreciate the game, as it were, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it as well.
Well, I mean, how else would we pass our time here? What do you do to pass the time, I guess?
He smiles. He says, oh, a bit of this, a bit of that, and I have my lovely consorts to keep me company, and he gestures at around the room.
Lucky man. And is
Indeed.
everyone currently residing in the castle right now, or are there others we will meet later?
He says, no, these are those of import, but there are others that live and dwell and work here.
Liana's gonna ask, is everyone here? And she looks at Rahadin and kind of looks around. Is everyone your bride?
Rahadin, make an insight check.
I can just imagine Rahadin's face.
Yeah, with an 18, somehow you notice that the perpetual frown on Rahadin's face gets like a little frownier.
Slightly frownier.
He frowns harder.
And
Frownier.
Strahd smiles as he kind of steps over to you, smiles indulgently. He says, no, I only bestow that honor upon the most deserving.
Oh, so such as Sasha and Anastasia, and who else?
He says, well, all of, he says, yes, and actually, almost at exactly that time, Sasha comes back around the corner with a mop and starts cleaning up the floor. And Valenta and Ludmilla kind of like move away because that work is like clearly beneath them. He says, he kind of looks around, and with that 18, I'll let that stand for a second. You notice his eyes linger for just a moment on Irina. And he says, I know all of my current brides are in this room.
Eliana notices that.
Yes.
How does somebody become your bride?
Well, there's a ceremony, and they will... How would he phrase this?
Perpetual servitude.
Now you wish you read my vampire book,
No, I don't.
so you'd have some creative things to say.
No, it's the phrasing I'm going for here without being too ridiculous.
You can be as ridiculous as you want to be.
Oh my god. He says, well, there's a ceremony, and they will have to undergo a transition.
Ceremony like a wedding ceremony? Or like a acolyte ceremony? Or like a knighting ceremony?
As you are like rattling off
Shaw
all the
will poke
lists.
No, obviously, he turns them. Shaw will say.
He says, he kind of smiles indulgently again at Eliana and says, a wedding, yes. And then he kind of turns to Shaw and says, there's no need to put it so curtly, but that is accurate.
I find sometimes bluntness is just quicker.
Is Escher, and I turn and I look at and gesture towards Escher, your most recent bridegroom? Groom bride?
You see Escher kind of smiling at Strahd, kind of over your shoulder. And Strahd nods down at you and says, yes, he is indeed.
Is the smile like the forced one like before, or is it
No, this
more
one
of the
seems more
genuine
genuine.
one?
Yeah, this one's more
Like
genuine.
what he did for me.
Yeah, more of a genuine smile.
Well, they all seem so lovely and devoted to you. And I also kind of see if anybody responds as I say devoted to you.
Yeah, make an insight check.
Anybody else watching?
Always.
God damn it.
If anyone else is like properly tuned into the conversation, which I think at least Shaw is, I
Yeah,
would
I'll
allow you to make an insight check as well.
I would definitely just be clocking specifically Sasha based on what I saw earlier.
Okay, make then you can make an insight check as well. Yeah, Eliana and Azur you don't really catch anything. Shaw, I think you would probably catch that as Eliana says this, there's just a minuscule moment of a pause in Sasha's mopping of the floor. And Strahd immediately responds, why, yes, I would expect nothing less of my consorts. Oh,
Sorry.
bless you.
Bless you.
Blessing.
I think Shaw will say, well, I this is such a big place. Would you be okay showing us around?
He smiles and he says, the castle does have much to offer and many delights. I think a tour would be in good order. And
Shaw will make it very clear that he's very excited to see all the castle, like facial expression wise.
performance check, please, sir.
Yeah, okay. Nope.
Oh god.
Not hiding it very well.
Well,
we
here's
are
the thing.
generally
You
excited to see
look
the castle.
eager. Yes, you seem eager, but perhaps overly so.
Fair.
And yeah, so as he says this, Rahadin actually steps forward and he says, my lord, I believe dinner is ready to be served. Perhaps the tour can wait till after the meal. And Strahd kind of it looks like he's considering it for a moment, and then he nods. He says, yes, I believe that would be best. We wouldn't want the meal to get cold now, would we? And he looks down at you, Shaw, and he says, Shaw, what say you? Would that be amenable? How would you mind waiting until after the meal?
I suppose. Well, I don't know if it's obvious, but this place is pretty cool, and I'm very excited to see it.
He smiles, and you can clearly see the fangs. Pretty wicked grin there. He says, lovely, I am looking forward to sharing it with you. And he steps past, and as he kind of gets past, gets over to Sasha, who's just sort of finishing up the mopping, he says, I think you're quite done with that, dear. Put it away. And she kind of hangs her head and heads back down this hallway. And then Strahd kind of turns and says, well, guests, thank you all for coming to dine with me at Castle Ravenloft. If you would come this way, I will show you to the dining room.
So interested to see how your fresh bread compares to the rest of Barovia. We have quite the connoisseur in our squad, as I'll nudge Shaw a little bit.
So just says, I mean, if you have bread, I will gladly try it.
He turns and says, "You will have to see for yourself." And then he heads over here and he throws open the bronze doors at this end of the hall.
Ooh. Can I look at these two on my way out and just kind of see where they're at?
Oh yeah,
emotionally?
they're waiting
Okay,
for you
cool.
all to sort of clear the room, but they're all clearly like making to follow. This is gonna be a family dinner.
Ah, family meal.
As
Is that
okay,
a
look how
corgi?
tiny those little chairs are. As I leave this foyer, the vines that were outside on the building, do they come into the like windows in the buildings? Like, are there plants growing from outside into the inside, or vice versa?
From here you don't see any. Specifically like in here.
I would also like to be looking for this in every room I go through.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of the vampires are funneling in behind you. Except Sasha has gone.
I was okay. I
Sorry.
was gonna say, does Sasha gonna come back for dinner? Is that what it
Are
seems
you
like, or is she-
asking Strahd?
Yeah, I'll say. Well, Sasha be joining us for dinner as well.
He says, "Yes, of course. You just had to finish tidying up."
All right.
And yeah, you actually see as you kind of come around this corner, there's a spiral staircase here, one set going up, one set going down. Yeah, and Strahd will lead you in. He'll head over towards his seat at the head of the table.
And do the after you symbol to all of our party.
Yeah, so we'll go in.
What is it like right here? Gotta get a little smaller though.
Yeah, as you enter, he sort of gestures to the table. You made yourself so small you disappeared.
Bye.
Yeah, he just gestures at the table as you all come in. He says, "Please make yourselves comfortable." Let me describe the room a bit. There's these just 3 enormous chandeliers that are brilliantly illuminating this chamber with their candlelight. There's more marble pillars kind of supporting the domed ceiling at the top of this room. The table is laid with any sort of delicious food you can think of. There's
It's
roast.
there.
Yep. There's roast beast, vegetables, and actually there's a few different loaves of bread.
Yeah.
There's fruits and butters and sauces. So you're full fine dining, like 4 forks, 4 spoons, 4 knives. You're not sure what any of them do.
Shaw will whisper to Catwin and just say, "Outside in on the cutlery."
Yeah, the main other thing of note in this room is an absolutely massive organ. against the far wall here. The goblets at the table are filled with a deep amber liquid that's giving off this like tantalizing fragrance. It looks and smells just absolutely wonderful.
And there's no like assigned seating here.
Nope.
Like,
Nope.
He doesn't have placards out.
No, he does not.
I'll go here. Ah. Why is it won't let me go further? It's like stuck. Why is it doing that?
Yeah, here, let me turn off snapping.
Okay.
There we go. Now we should be able to take our seats.
Alright, there we go. Everyone got smaller except for Strahd.
Love it.
He's gonna stand outside, Shaw.
No, I'll be here.
Alright, I was gonna put you where I thought you would go. Oh.
Oh, it's still big.
He's a giant man.
Sorry.
This is
Everything
Strahd is also
just-
so large.
Yeah, but he's a dragon, so.
It's
Could
like
you
in
imagine?
WoW when the bosses are just 3 times bigger than everybody for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know you're fucked when like the boss is the same size. Like,
There.
You're like,
you
"Oh,
happy
God."
now? You happy now, Cam?
Wait, why is Judge Judy here?
yeah.
Judge Judy's gonna
Judy,
play the
executioner.
organ. Judge Judy's the organist.
Incredible.
Cam wanted a dragon. Gave him a dragon.
Yeah, I think Shaw would just kind of like start digging in a little bit.
Right away, you're just eating.
I mean, he'll grab like the things that are like, you know, that the appetizers. If there's a bread basket there, you know he's gonna yoink one of those.
I'd like to take a closer inspection of the delicious beverage you were mentioning.
Yes,
Does it
please
seem
do.
alcoholic or anything?
Yeah, make a
burgers.
survival check.
When he was announcing all the types of forks and stuff, that's all I could think of.
16.
Yeah, with a 16. It is just a it's bourbon. It's a bourbon. It's a whiskey. That's the
Is
name
alcohol in
I
it?
wanted, but wasn't getting there. It's a whiskey.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
You believe
Like
me?
a 27-year redbreast.
It is the highest of top shelf.
Something you've never even heard of, Carl. That's
Yeah,
how tough.
something that your like social status class doesn't get to know about.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm gonna smell it and I'm gonna say, well, this smells delicious. Does this come from Barovia?
He shakes his head. He says, "No, this is a cask that I have had from before I came to this land, and I tap it when the occasion arises."
Mm.
So it's very old.
Let's say that's like hundreds of years old, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
And I'll say, so how often do you entertain like this? This is quite the lavish setup.
He smiles as he begins to serve, take serving spoons and fill his plate. He says, it's been several years since the last time I was able to host anyone in our hall, so this is quite the treat. I thank you for accepting my invitation.
Compliments to the
Just
chef.
nod, and
This
I'm
all
gonna
looks
take-
fantastic.
I can't resist. I'm gonna take a sip of the whiskey. Hey, success.
Nice. Give me a
A whiskey check.
I mean, you already rolled the survival check. Yeah, it is like the most delicious thing you've ever drank. Ever.
Like
Okay.
suspiciously delicious.
No, just normally delicious.
Just
Catwin
delicious.
Catwin will notice this and have some also.
Give another free drink no matter what. So
I know.
I love it.
I'm huge.
I don't know if I noticed or asked, but did Irina have any of the wine earlier?
Yes, she had a glass of the purple mash.
Okay.
That she brought in here with her. Like, I guess, yeah, each of you, like when you're at a cocktail hour, you bring your original drink
Your
sort of
glass
with you
with
to
you.
the table. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gratuita, no, not the celestial whiskey this time. Yeah, but he and he says, yes, please eat, help yourselves. This is for you after all.
Has Sasha returned yet?
Oh, yes. She would have returned shortly after everyone had seated themselves. As she kind of
start serving up some of the people around him.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. You notice that, like, as she comes through the doors, she kind of like turn towards the head of the table where the other vampires are sitting, and notice that there like aren't any seats, and she kind of like stops short, and then turns and heads the other way around the table past Rahadin, and then comes and sits down next to you, Zur.
I'll just kind of give her a slight nod, like a friendly nod when she's down.
Yeah, her eyes are kind of just on her plate, and doesn't really appear to acknowledge you much.
Assume as we're passing out food, none of the vampires are taking anything.
You notice that they're each like taking pretty small portions of a couple of different things. But make another perception check for me.
Better.
Yeah, with an 18, what you notice is that they're all kind of like serving themselves things, but it's like clearly a bit of like routine politeness. All they are each doing is drinking from their glasses, with the exception of Rahadin. You notice he is eating the food.
I'm not a
Ah.
vampire.
It's a fun game to play at dinner. Vampire or not a vampire?
Right.
Secret vampire
Are
instead of
there-
secret Hitler.
Is there any beets on my plate?
I need you to make a beat check, please.
Yeah, nice. Big rolls.
Or beef.
Investigation, please.
Hello, DC.
With the 23. Do you want there to be beets on your plate?
If there's any beets too.
Strahd smiles and says, why, yes, in fact, I have acquired a lovely recipe for beet stew, and I have some here. And Anastasia grabs a bowl from in front of her and passes it down the table to you.
Are you saying that you made all of this, Strahd?
Me? No. But Cyrus did.
Ah.
Who's Cyrus?
Cyrus Bellevue. He's quite the denizen. He's excellent in the kitchen and helps out around the place. He's
Wait, isn't that what's her face's husband?
Who?
Wait, do we know that name?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Come on. Bellevue, you mean like of Kresk?
Yes, that's sort of
All the like people in Kresk, right? All the like people at the Abbey.
Yeah.
Yes,
The abomination duders.
The flesh golems? I don't say that out loud.
They weren't. Flesh
they're
golems.
not flesh golems.
Oh.
He smiles and he says, so that means you must have met the abbot if you know the Bellevues. And yes, Cyrus is the patron of the Bellevue family, the first of the mongrel folk.
Ah, mongrel folk. We were struggling to find a term. We were not used to seeing, well, mongrel folk.
Mongrel isn't that like an uncouth thing to say about a dog?
He kind of smiles wickedly and he says, well, he is part dog after all, so why not?
They were kind of creature-like, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are creation of the abbot, who's quite the odd creature himself.
Yeah, what's your take on him?
I find him to be taken with his own whims and fancies, and while I find his obsessive faith a bit off-putting, one must bear a certain amount of respect for the sheer depth of his dedication.
He also had
What I
a kind of ageless beauty, and I kind of I see if I can make eye contact with. Escher.
You'd have a hard time making eye contact with Escher. Well, I guess if you're talking to Strahd, you're kind of like leaning down, talking down the table,
I'm looking.
right?
Actually, I just kind of want to see if anybody is feeling themselves after I say that. Does anybody take that as a compliment directed towards them? I'm kind of like I'm saying it like indirectly, but like in a way that maybe you wouldn't know if I'm saying it about you or not. Maybe even towards Strahd, like a little bit.
Yes, you notice Anastasia, Escher, and Strahd all smile.
Okay. But these two sourpusses, Ludmilla and Valenta, they do not
No,
smile.
someone here is getting under their
Nope.
skin. They're a little grumpy.
Okay, so yeah, I say that he had a kind of ageless beauty about him, and they all.
They all smile a bit, but Strahd says,
I smile back.
Strahd says, beauty of a sort, I guess you could say, yes. And he looks at you, Eliana, and he says, so, Eliana, tell me a bit more about yourself, where you come from, and where you get your, where you learned to harness the powers of nature.
Well, I'm a descendant of some very powerful elf druids. Although we were, in a conclave in the forest, we were pretty prominent where I came from. We are, I guess, high elves. And I learned this from just being who I am and my mother and my father. I don't really know if I have to really work to learn on it. It just kind of comes to me naturally.
Oh, it's good to have. Good to have an upbringing that provides that sort of thing for you. My father was a king, and he was also a great general, and he too passed down knowledge to me while unlike you, I had to work for it and I had to learn it, but he did teach me the arts of war and conquest and bringing order to a land that's wrought with chaos and confusion. And he kind of turns down the table just a little bit, and he kind of looks at you, Azur, and he says, and you, Azur, what is your background? Where do you call home?
I'll make sure to kind of make good, solid eye contact with him so he can really see the darkness in my eyes. And I'll
Emo
say,
much?
What's that? Well, that's part of my background.
No, I know.
So I never really had a true home. I've always kind of lived a nomadic lifestyle. Been in the Underdark for quite a while, but was able to find these fine folks and adventure with them. Maybe I found my home with them. Because before that, I never really knew a true home. What is his response to that?
Sorry, I was talking and just realized I was on mute.
Nice.
My bad. He says, I too know what it's like to not know or to be unsure of your place in the world, not know where to call home. After all, I have been here in Barovia for some time, and while we did originally set out to conquer this land, I had not intended for it to become my home, and yet it has, and I have become comfortable here, and I hope that you too can someday find somewhere that you can claim to be yours.
Shall kind of pipe up. If you don't mind me asking, there's a lot of different stories on how Barovia came to be, and I would regret just not asking. How did this place become separated, I guess is the right word?
He kind of looks at you, just the slightest like frown of concentration, creases his forehead, but it immediately goes back to the kind of benevolent smile. And he says, well, that is a good question. Just let's go back a bit in time, if you are willing to let an old man ramble, as it were. He says,
Wait, what was that?
he says, Barovia was the final small piece of the empire that my father sought to claim. There's a valley guarding the mountain pass at the nation's easternmost edge. And when I first looked upon the snow-capped peaks and beheld the beauty of this valley, I knew it was a special place and that it could one day become sorry, and he says, and my father said to me, this will one day be the seat of our family's legacy, the gateway through which all will come into our kingdom. And so he set me and my armies here to conquer the valley and bring it to heel under my father's empire. And I set out to do that, and I did that, and I claimed this castle after many bloody battles. And, well, the rest, you see, is a bit of a mystery.
Insight check.
Sure.
I just want to know if, like, he's holding something back.
Yeah, with an 18, you don't know. Seems to be pretty sincere. I mean, he just told you it's a mystery, but you can't get a read on whether that means he knows what the answer to the mystery is, or if it's a mystery to him. You don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
The ambiguity is certainly there. He's not. It doesn't appear to be obviously concealing anything from you.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. He then kind of redirects back at you, Shaw, and he says, and what about you, Shaw? Where did you acquire your expertise and skills with a blade?
Yeah. Well, growing up, I was, I guess, lucky enough to be born into a small amount of money. And my parents, fortunately, passed when I was younger, and I did what teenagers do. I stole for fun until it got me in trouble. And then I said, well, I'm good at it. Or at least I learned to get good at it. And I became so good that, well, the guild picked me up and I eventually became one of the higher powers in it. I don't know if we operated in the same lands that your father did long ago, but I doubt it, considering the time.
He kind of nods approvingly, and he says, "Oh, perhaps our families crossed paths in the distant past, but I respect a man who finds what he's good at and works hard at it."
Yeah, a little chaos can open up some valuable opportunities.
He smiles knowingly, and he says, "Indeed, it can." And then he kind of turns to Irina, and he says, "My dearest Irina, I know your story, but tell me, what have these past months meant to you? Or, I guess I should say past. It's been months for us in our real world.
Been 5 days.
It's been like a week with y'all.
It's been a few weeks.
It's been a few weeks. It's been more than
it's
5
been
days.
eight-
All of 2 weeks.
It's been 8
been
days
like
since
2
we got our
weeks.
invitation. We've already been here for a little while.
Yeah, it's been 10 days since you got the invitation, and you'd been here for about a week before that. So we're like pushing 20 days at this point.
3 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
That's
God.
wild.
Yikes.
He says to Irina, and I'll keep this short in the interest of not me talking to myself a bunch. He says, "What have these last few weeks meant to you?" And she kind of picks up her wine goblet and takes a deep draft, and sets it back down. She says, "Well, I think I found a few new things." And then she kind of like glares at Strahd, and she says, "My new friends here have shown me that there are those that would seek to bring light to this world. And in doing that, I have decided to dedicate myself to the Morning Lord." And she kind of like sits up and sort of juts her chin out kind of defiantly. You actually see the four vampires sitting down by Strahd kind of all brown a bit. Escher goes almost like stony in his appearance, or his demeanor. And they're like the first time you see a look of almost like disappointment across Strahd's face. Like there's the smile has been there almost the whole time, and this is like the first time his face kind of falls a bit. And he says, "I see. Well, perhaps your faith will have to be put to the test." And then he turns to Catwin, and he says, "What about you, Catwin? Such an enigma. What drives you?"
Well, you see, I am not the best with words or the smartest of this group, but I have found in my travels that I am very, very good at violence. I
That
excel
is true.
at violence.
As you say this, he gets like this almost like hungry, like bloodlust type look in his eyes, like clearly a man cut from the same cloth as you say this.
I have learned in my travels and my background of growing up with a family that dealt in illegal displacer kitten trading and then landing here that while I do love some good crime and some good violence, I have found that there's no point in doing those things just for my own gain. Which is how I've landed with these folks. Most of them are able to speak for me most of the time as I align with their views. And I don't know if I need to hit somebody with something.
He smiles and he says, "Yeah, sometimes violence is the solution to a problem, and it's good to know when to use it."
I will raise a toast to violence.
As you raise your glass, he also raises his, and he says, "To violence." And then
Violence.
he stands, and at this point, with the conversation kind of concluding his sort of round of information gathering at the table, he stands and raises his glass, and the other vampires quickly stand and raise theirs along with Rahadin, and he says, "A toast to my guests. It has been..." Yes. It's up to each of you whether you stand or not. He says, hang on.
I think Shaw will just stand out of the politeness of it.
Sorry. Trying not to die.
Please do.
He
Yeah.
he says, "To my guests, may your times in Barovia be enjoyable." And he takes a drink, and then he turns to the vampires and he says, "Now, if you will excuse us, I wish to explore the wit and cunning of our guests, and I would like to do that in private." The vampires all kind of... what'd you say?
Nothing. Sorry.
Zelda.
The vampires all kind of nod. They take their glasses and they all head out.
Did they have any kind of reaction to like they've seen this before and are interested, like a smirk, or they just kind of, normal?
Yeah, make an insight check. Yeah, with the 17, Ludmilla and Valenta just kind of appear to be like happy to be able to leave. Anastasia sort of looks, kind of gives you that smile, that sort of like knowing smile, of like a good luck kind of thing. You can't really get quite a read on Escher. As Sasha stands to go, she knocks a fork onto the floor in between you and her, Azure. And
I'll bend over to help pick it up.
as you do, you feel her hand graze yours, and she slips a piece of paper into it.
I will slip that into my pocket for now.
Make a sleight of hand check, please.
Amanda drinks from her bowl of beet stew. For
So for the toast. I love it.
Did you for the toast? Did you take the whole bowl up?
Yes.
yes, I'm holding the bowl of beet stew.
I love it.
She just drinks
That's
from
perfectly Eliana.
That is amazing. That is amazing. All right, I think this is actually probably a good place to stop. Oh, well, here, we'll do this because what was that?
That 15
Oh,
sleight of hand seemed like anybody noticed.
Find out next time on Curse of Strahd.
Does my drinking from a bowl of beet stew help?
It
that a help
definitely
action, or-
provided a moment of entertainment to like everybody at the table.
Distracted everybody maybe a little bit.
Is your snack attacking you?
It is. I ate one of those crunchy granola bars, and I think there's a piece stuck in the back of my throat. And I'm just
Now
coughing.
you're actively dying.
No, dying.
But yeah, okay. So,
What are you gonna do?
he says, because I want to let y'all know, this might help y'all prepare for the next session. Maybe not. Maybe too ambiguous. But he says, as he kind of sits back down and sort of gestures. As Brahadini was the last one out, as he left, he closed the doors behind him. And Strahd sits down and gestures for all of you to sit back down. He says, as Lord of this land, it intrigues me to learn how others might evaluate the dilemmas that power so often presents. He says, there are no incorrect answers to these questions. I just wish to know what you would do. And on that note, we'll stop it there.
Cool.
Stopping on a riddle?
Not a riddle, but more of a think about how,
Personality quiz.
yeah, it's basically a personality test. He's going to give you the Myers-Briggs next session, so be ready for that.
Nice.
Are
You
gonna
will
send us
leave.
homework?
My God.
I'm
Zelda has
not
a lot
going to
to
tell
say
you what the
about that.
questions are. You are going to have to just answer them on the fly next time.
You
but-
have a lot
I
to
love
say
it.
about that. Look at the sass face.
Oh.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wait, hang on. I'm not looking.
Sass
Where is
face.
she?
Sass face.
So
the,
it's
the
sassy.
sassiest face.
I
Oh,
have
Such
a
a
lot
cute
to
cat.
say.
Such a cute cat.
Are you a cute cat? Are you
So
a cute
scrappy.
girl? That's a cute girl. Wow.
Look at her. She's so
I
sweet.
just
I like
Loves the
A
scritches.
my webcam like
Ah.
in one of my desk drawers, like
Yes.
hanging off the edge of it so that it sees her. Oh, a big stretch. Oh, there's your butt. Oh, you're gonna show everybody your. Oh, okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh no, now it's just me. Oh, where'd she go?
Well, yeah,
Oh, she
that'll.
just got Carl's computer off.
She actually.
Either that or Carl crashed his own computer. One of the two. so.
One of the two. Too many. Too running through Alt Tab too fast.
Right.
Oh, all right. Let me get the stream shut down real quick. All right, Gratua and everybody else who's in here watching and listening, thank y'all very much for hanging out. We will be back not next week because that's our off week for Strahd. So in 2 weeks, we'll be back on Monday to conclude our dinner with Strahd. Thank y'all for hanging out, and I will catch you next time.